Hey y'all, this is Tyler and from O.T.R.Outdoors. Today we're going to do part 3 of our fire starting options and shelter options. It's been raining off and on all morning, well for the beginning of this morning. It started around 9:30 or so and rained till about 10:30, 11ish, and then it stopped raining. We're supposed to get some thunderstorms here in a couple hours. So everything's wet. It rained a little bit last night. Everything's pretty damp, so we're going to use a man-made tinder and get our fire going with wet material. And we're going to do just a basic plow point configuration for our shelter, or a diamond configuration, whichever one you want to call it. So we'll get everything out and get started.
Yeah.
Alright y'all, so I have switched tarps again. I've gone back, if you watch some of my first videos, especially my snow day videos, and one of my other videos where I set up an Adirondack shelter, we're going with that tarp. It's the Pathfinder poncho tarp. It's a poncho that has a Velcro pocket to put the hood in, so you can use it for a tarp. And this is my kit that I normally use for shelter. It has everything I need. It's got stakes, that way I don't have to carve stakes if I need to set up a shelter in a hurry. It's got a SOL space blanket, one of the heavy duty ones with the grommets in it, and then the poncho itself and quarters. So I have everything I need in this one little case. So all my stakes, I always keep 2 that have line on them. I'll go ahead and get these unwrapped real quick. I know you can't see the top of my head. I'm going to try and get this whole shelter where you can see it as I'm setting it up. So there's one of them. No, it's not raining, baby. It's the wind blowing the water off the leaves. There's 2, and then we'll need 1 more for the back. So I carry 6 stakes with me. And really, normally you only need 3 to 4 stakes for most shelter setups, but I go ahead and carry 6. That way, with that big tarp, I'm going to do it in a later video, you can set that thing up like a tent. Basically a floorless tent, and we're going to do that probably in the next video. This is going to be our last video on man-made materials for our fire. We're going to switch over and do some natural stuff after this, and then we'll do some other tarp configurations as well. Got our piece of line here. We're going to go off basically straight off, so I'm going to slide my pack around a little bit. And with this configuration, you don't want it too high. About waist level, maybe a little bit higher. We'll go just a touch higher today. Pull our tarp out. The only thing that you really need to pay attention to on this tarp when you're setting it up, because it has that Velcro pocket, I'll scoot over here where y'all can see this a little bit better. This Velcro pocket here, you just want to make sure your Velcro is downhill, so if it does rain, the water runs over the top of the part that's a seam and not directly into that Velcro. I really doubt this would ever leak. But just to be on the safe side, might as well set it up the correct way so you don't have to worry about it. We're going to find us a corner, making sure that our Velcro section is running downhill. Come up here, go through our tie out. And I'm not going to do anything fancy, I'm just going to go around the tree a few times. And just come off with a half hitch or 2. We're going to come back with that first stake that doesn't have any line on it. Find our opposite corner. I'm just going to go straight into the tie-out point. We'll come find our other corners. And I will use the lines on these just to keep it up just a touch. And I'm just going to use the chucker's hitch knot on these. Get that cinched down. We'll go over to the other side, and I'll go ahead and move the camera and give y'all a close-up of that other side. Alright, so this is going to be a little bit downhill on this side, but as far as where you would sleep, you'd still be good. It's just this tarp's going to run basically parallel to this hill. I'm going to scoot that down a little bit further. touch. That's pretty much it. This is a real fast, this is a really good emergency shelter. Need it up real quick. So I'll zoom out and get y'all a good view of this. Alright, so as y'all can see, you got plenty of space. Now one thing you can do is put, basically right here in the middle of your tarp, you can put a rock or something in there and pull that centerpiece up and give you a little bit more headroom. I really don't have a tree that's super close by to be able to pull that up and give you a little bit more head space. But this gives you plenty of space. It's a super quick up shelter. It takes no time at all to get set up. So let me walk around here. If I don't trip over all the sticks and logs right here. Give y'all a view of the front. And there's Riley sitting in there. She's sitting on a log too. But as you can tell the center's sagging just a bit. That gives you plenty of coverage for one person or two people. Riley and I could sleep in there pretty easily, especially if we got that centerpiece pulled up a little bit. That gives you really good coverage. It's a super quick shelter. Takes 5 minutes, if that. It really only takes about 2 or 3 if you got a really good spot. Alright y'all, so what I did is I went and grabbed a bunch of stuff. This stuff over here to my left was up off the ground, but it wasn't dead standing or anything like that. It was just propped up on other limbs and things of that nature. And I found, looks like it was a sassafras tree that was not dead. It was dead standing, and the fact that there's a tree that had fallen over onto 2 other dead trees, so it was way up off the ground, and these are actually sticking up about like this, like they would normally be off the tree. So these are really good and dry. Those other ones are a little bit damp. With the with the man-made material we're going to use today, it won't really matter, but I'm going to use this stuff as my initial fire lay to get the fire going, and then use my secondary stuff that's a little damp because it's closer to the ground. Most of it's pretty dry. It's a little damp from being close to the ground. It wasn't laying on the ground. So we'll go ahead and get this process down. Same as always. You want your pencil and smaller stuff, or your pencil lead size stuff, and then your pencil size stuff, and then your larger than pencil stuff. Just go through here and break some of these off. Get them all separated out real quick. Alright, sorry about that, y'all. My camera battery's trying to, I had to swap them out. So we're going to use a micro inferno. Let's get it back, the tin back out here. These little cakes. Put out by the Pathfinder store. I've had this one for quite a while, and all it is a piece of fabric that's infused with accelerant and a wax. But all I did was tear off, and actually when I was pulling it apart, it kind of exposed some of the fibers on the inside. And then I've got my other 3 piles like I normally do. Got a good base to get me up off the ground. Get my ferro rod out here. Go. And once I get this initial part down, I'm going to do a bit of a teepee to help dry out some of this more damp material or marginal material that I've got. That's the nice thing about this, using this tinder. If I remember correctly, they're supposed to burn from anywhere to 5 to 7 minutes, I believe. So I put that really good dry stuff I had off of that sassafras tree on the bottom, and some of my more marginal stuff that was really small, and this is more of that sassafras stuff here. That medium size or pencil size stuff. I can put some of this more marginal stuff on the outside there. And this is one of those times you want to get as much of your fuel on your fire as possible, so you give it a chance to dry out good. As you can tell, I'm already still coming over this fuel level anyways. Whoop. Smoke's trying to get me too. So we'll get all this stuff on there, let it get going, and then we can go to our bigger stuff after that. Alright y'all, so that's a really quick setup for your tarp shelter. This would be more of an emergency type situation you would use these two combinations for, as far as something that's going to guarantee you a flame for an extended period of time, that's a man-made material to help dry out material if needs be, or if you just absolutely need to get a fire going, you fell in the creek, fell in the lake off your boat, whatever the case is, you need to get dry and get warm in a hurry. This is one of those man-made tenders and materials that you would use for that situation, whether going back to the other ones that we've used, the dryer lint. With the dryer lint, you can dip it in Vaseline just like you do cotton balls. And then the other one we used, pardon me, the other one we used was wax paper. It's gonna work okay. I mean, essentially that's what this is wax paper, but it's a thicker material. There's more material to that cake, or that little disc. And it's gonna work a lot better for you as far as longevity of your flame to initially get your fuels dried out. And same thing with this shelter. This shelter takes 2 minutes tops to get set up. And like I was saying earlier, you don't have to run the lines like I did. You can just put all 4 stakes in the ground on all 3 of the corners, tie you off to this tree. And if you find, there's a couple different ways you can do it. You set up like this, you can set yourself up a tripod and run it off a tripod. You can also, if you find either a tree that's got a Y, that's a tree that's split fairly close to the trunk, you can put a stake or a stick in there and use it as a toggle for your initial point. Or if you got a low-lying limb that's coming close to a tree and you get a big enough toggle run through there that you can run across there that'll hold everything, you can do that as well. Just a real fast, real quick, easy shelter to get up, get you in cover, out of the rain or out of the wind or snow or whatever the case is. It's super fast and easy. And then using that tender, pretty much guaranteed fire as long as you prep your wood a little bit. You don't have to do anything major, but you don't want to go putting stuff like this on there initially. I mean, it'll get going, but it's going to take you a while. Just go ahead and get your small stuff on there. And I didn't do a whole lot of prep work with that. That literally took me maybe 10 minutes of collecting everything and processing it all down to get this going. So this entire thing, shelter, fire, if I wasn't videoing, it maybe have taken me 15-20 minutes tops, but it's definitely gonna be a lot closer to the 15-minute mark or less. And if I was really trying to hurry and push myself to get it set up really quick, you can get this fire going and this shelter set up easily in 10 minutes. The most time-consuming part is going to be collecting your materials for your fire, as far as getting this started quickly. But if you have all your materials together already, say you're going to a camp you've previously been to and you have materials there, or if you're in a spot like here where I'm at, where I've been doing videos off and on, my landlord has cleared out some stuff, so there's lots of down branches here anyways that are right here and easy to grab. So a lot of it's going to depend on what type of environment you're in to determine how quickly you can gather your materials for your fire. The shelter should take you 2 minutes or less. Just got to practice. So this is pretty much going to cover it for our man-made tenders. We're still going to do a couple more. We'll probably do 3 natural tenders for starting your fire, just like we did with the man-made, and do 3 more tarp setups. Like I was saying earlier, I'm going to get my other tarp back out and I'll show you how to set it up as a tent. There's a couple different options you can do with it, having that center tie-out point on it. And then we'll do an Adirondack shelter, and then the last one, I've got a couple different ones. I haven't decided which one I'm going to do for the last. So we'll do 3 with natural tenders, excuse me, and 3 more shelter configurations. That'll pretty much conclude this little series on fire starting options and shelter options, and we'll come up with something from there. If you have any requests, leave it in the comments on a video, or have any questions, leave it in the comments, or shoot me an email. Alright guys, thanks for watching this one. Quick setup on the tarp and the fire. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook, along with YouTube. All of them are at O.T.R.Outdoors. Please like, share, and subscribe. Remember, there's always a storm coming. Keep your powder dry, your action, your knife sharp, and an eye on your back trail. We'll see y'all next time.